Good morning, friends, family, neighbors. Dixie's sleeping in late. What time is it? 8:38. And I need to go to work, but I want to read y'all a poem this morning. Hope you're having a good December. I am. And despite appearances. But I wrote this poem several years ago, and I just thought about it this morning. I actually published it, 1989, copyright. And it's in this book, handwritten book, and it's entitled To My Son the Artist. And there's a prologue. I'll try not to prolong it. When I was a child, my father, on a regular basis, would give me a piece of his mind. By the time I was 14, I was a genius of juvenile delinquency. My father had become a raving maniac who could not stand the sight of me. About the time I turned 17, considering myself full of worldly wisdom, I left my father's home to make my own way in the world. I quickly learned that the extent of my wisdom was equal to the extent of my years. However, I stubbornly pondered on and have never returned to my father's home except for rare visits. Within a few short weeks of my leaving, miraculously, my father was completely recovered from his manic depressive illness. I have no doubt that the cause of his astounding recovery was that he discontinued the practice of giving away pieces of his mind to undeserving, uncaring adolescents. Being as I was an innocent child of the 50s, a rebellious youth of the 60s, and a reforming young adult of the 70s, I thus surmised that I must be different from my father. After all, he grew up in the, quote, Great Depression and came of age in the, quote, Great War. But alas, our illnesses must be hereditary. When my eldest son turned 14, I realized that he had become a genius of juvenile delinquency and, God help me, I had become a raving maniac. My firstborn is now on his own, but he does drop by for rare visits. When he was very young, he demonstrated a gifted talent for drawing and painting. To encourage him in his art, I wrote the following poem. When I gave him a copy of the work, I assured him that I was well on my way to recovery from my manic depressive illness. The young man stared at me with obvious skepticism, shrugged his shoulders and said, "Okay, Dad, that's great. Maybe we can go fishing or something sometime. Hey, I gotta run." He jumped into his typical juvenile carriage and drove away. I yelled after him, "Read the poem, knothead." He smiled and waved. When he was out of sight, I walked into the house, muttering about my undeserving, uncaring offspring. Now the poem. Some thoughts for you, my son. Beware of sacred truths. Think twice of what seems right. Beware of absolutes. Think long on what seems wrong. But dream a song that's pure. A dream, a poem, a cure. Then paint with art the dawn. For all there is that shatters the chains upon our hearts and tames the man, the beast, is art, my son, just art. But we must choose the ways that lead us to the light, like hounds out from the night. Artist, paint well the days. Then be a bird of freedom and fly up in the sky, to taste the wind with wings and cry a gallant cry, to sing a song till death and feel the sky's warm glow. Make music in your soul. Paint well the red sunset. Love is complex, my son. Love is always right, but love can lovers wrong. Love is the best of life. Love sings the sweetest song. Love is passion. Love is lust. Love is human, and humans dust. Paint love ere love is gone. Love has 1,000 charms. The greatest one of these is holding in your arms the woman who in herself still holds your child unborn. All love is noble art that sets a man apart. So paint them well, love's charms. The truth at times can hurt, but hide it not in thee. For truth buried will sprout, then men, long blind, will see. The art of truth is thinking. Paint truth in all that's done. Paint truth in all, my son. For truth must set you free. Thank you for listening. And I'm still a working man, so Dixie's still a working dog, just a little bit slower. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you later. Toodaloo buckaroos.